If you nail the right offenses to stack on your best ball teams, it makes your life a whole lot easier and gives your team a chance to win all the money. And it might just be the key to certain tournaments, cumulative scoring, the sprint, different kinds of formats, weekly winners. If you nail your right stacks, life is easy. It's probably the most important thing to do in best ball, more than anything. So today we're going to get into our top 4 stacks for 2025. These offenses you need to be targeting for a variety of different reasons. But just trust me, you're going to want to draft these teams. Let's get into it. All right, guys. Good afternoon. Robert Griffin bringing the heat. But I'm into the vibes. I'm into the, maybe not the sluts part of it, but I'm into the excitement. All right. My head is still spinning. I think kind of like the way the ball was spinning in the air when Tyrese Halliburton hit the back of the rim, and it's floating there, and Knicks fans are just praying to God that the ball doesn't go in. I'm still high on life. It's beautiful. It continues to be, fingers crossed, beautiful weather. The vibes are great. Not to turn this into the NBA show. Holy shit, what an incredible game. So excited. Got me today. You get a little extra pep in your step. One of the best NBA playoff games I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's going to lead us into some fun today. We're going to talk about top stacks. Who the hell doesn't love talking about stacks? But I think specifically there's some fun parts of stacking in best ball that are maybe a little bit different than like any other game really that exists. Yeah, definitely the New Yorkers are not feeling high on life. I'm in St. Louis, so I have no rooting interest. I am fairly close to Indianapolis. I also did bet on the Pacers. Full transparency. Sorry, Knicks fans. In Hallie, we trust. But stacks, right? That's what we're not here to talk about. Tyrese Halliburton, the preemptive choke. We'll see if we can not choke today here on the stacking show. But I'm super. Thank you, Big Draft Energy. Shout out to Big Draft Energy. Remind the people in the chat, please. You're live like almost every night. Ripping drafter streams. We're all big fans of drafters around here. We're big fans of our fellow best ball sickos, like Big Draft Energy. Follow them, watch their shows a little bit later tonight. I've been hopping in some of their drafts. Shout out to them. The stack stuff is like, it almost feels like we get into, specific to best ball, but there's applications to this, right? And maybe not so much dynasty. I'm not sure. I'm not a big dynasty aficionado, but even a little bit, like certainly in like the FFPC main event, maybe some redraft, managed league, like tournament style stuff. The stacking element, right? How to target specific offenses more so than targeting specific players that we love is a huge deal that I think it's a little bit overlooked. We spend our whole summer talking about, I like this player, I hate this player, I like this guy, I don't like this guy. And we don't talk necessarily about maybe some offenses to specifically target. So today, perfect timing, Chris, we are going to walk through 4 offenses that I think are what I would call quote unquote top stacks in your best ball drafts. And then we're going to hop into a DraftKings draft and see if I can't put some of them together. Well, I don't know how that's going to go. Yesterday on the show, we talked about some of the guys to target before the camp hype gets out of control on them and the coach speak gets out of control on them. We talked about De'Ami Brown, and he went at pick like 170. So we'll see if I can put it to use, but we're sure as hell going to try. But 4 teams, for different, like I said at the top, for different reasons, all of these teams are kind of gonna make this list, and I think it's probably not quite maybe what normal people would expect. So I got 3 pillars right? We're going to turn this into like straight life hacking mode, whatever, right? We got 3 pillars of best ball stacks, the things that you need to care about when you're picking your best stacks. Awesome. Shout out to you, Chris. Thank you for joining us. So super cheesy, but I tried to think about it through a few different lenses because it's really, really easy to just say, well, yeah, dummy, the top stacks are like just target the best offenses, right? Target the Lions, target the Eagles, target the Bills or Ravens or whatever. And that's not like totally wrong, but in our drafts, we have like price matters, upside matters. How easy is it to put together those stacks? How many different options do I have to put together a stack? So I called it 3 different, like I said, 3 different little pillars. Upside, at the end of the day, all the cool stuff about this offense is cheap and this guy is an 8th round pick and he should be going in the 6th. That's great. But we need offensive upside. And that comes in many forms and fashions, right? There's a ton of flavors of what upside even really means for an NFL offense. And we're all going to have like some different opinions on the true upside of offenses. But I do start there. Like, no offense to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry, Steelers fans. No offense. You don't have a quarterback. DK Metcalf is a fine football player. And then, yikes, right? Like, the offense just doesn't have the up. Like, there is even, let's say Aaron Rodgers goes there, or let's say they trade for Kirk Cousins, or they trade for the offensive upside is not there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we still do have to have a certain requisite amount of upside. Then, just as important though as upside is price, right? What's the ADP of all of these players on this offense? What's the collective like ADP of all of the different players from within the offense? So an offense might have this. You'll see this in a minute or in a few minutes. Might have a first round player. There could be an offense with a first round player, but then the rest of the offense is like cheap. I can get the quarterback whenever the heck I want. The tight end is free. The running back is free. The backup running back is free. The wide receiver 2 or 3, whatever. The collective price of the offense, like the, who's a good example? The Atlanta Falcons. Let's use the Atlanta Falcons. Overall, like, kind of sort of sit in the middle, right, from a price perspective. But the 2 best players, the players you want the most, first round Bijan Robinson, second round Drake London. It's like, I can get Michael Penix whenever I want. I can get Kyle Pitts whenever I want, and sort of Darnell Mooney and Tyler Algier. I'm intrigued by those guys. I draft those guys. I like the Falcons. But there's not that many options, of course. And then the 2 guys you really, really want are first and second round picks. So the price starts to play in like, the Falcons were like I started narrowing down the teams, right? We start with 32. We start removing like Steelers. See ya. We start removing teams. And then you get like the Falcons are, interesting. Upside looks good. Price, not so sure. So that was pillar number 2. Pillar number 3 is what I'm calling like stackability. Fake made up word we love to use in the best ball streets, right? Roster construction and all this bullshit. Stackability, which is a little bit price, but also the price component of it is, right, how easy can I get a stack of this offense? I had the first round player. So there's a first round player on that offense. The stackability takes a small little hit, right? Because you just can't even get that first round player every single time, most likely. But then where does the quarterback go? Where do all the pieces? How do I feel about those other pieces? Am I comfortable stacking the offense without that first round player? Am I comfortable stacking the offense with the wide receiver 2 and the tight end? How do I feel about the running back 2? Where does the running back 2 go in drafts? Where the quarterback part is certainly a big deal. Where does the quarterback go? How easy is it for me to not only get the stacks I want, right, which is probably the best players, right? So then you have the first round, second round issues, but also we like to call them either backdoor stacks or oh shit stacks, both ridiculous names that we've come up for these things, but nonetheless, the oh shit stack, when I get to the 9th or 10th round and it's just not working, right? I didn't get quarterbacks that align with my stacks. Can I still put together a stack of this offense? Because, oh shit, I need to put together and it be a reasonable one. Like, no offense. So I'll give one away that's not on the list. It's the Detroit Lions. Like, who the hell doesn't love the Detroit Lions? They're going to score a bunch of points. But there's no possible, there's very little stackability, if you will, in the Lions, because once I get past JMO and Sam Laporta, and David Montgomery goes right there as well, there are no more lines till the last round. Goff goes after all of those pieces. So putting together Lion stacks is trickier than you would think. So that doesn't mean they're a bad stack, but if we're putting top stacks right at the top of the list, they just don't make it, because if I don't get all of their guys go in the first 6 rounds, and then of course the quarterback goes in round 10 or so, and then it's like, oh, what do you really want? Isaac Tesla, Jared Goff stacks? Like, the stackability part, like Jared Goff plus Isaac Tesla is like, it makes you feel better because you have a wide receiver that's paired with your quarterback, but that's not how you want to be put. The reason you're drafting Lion stacks is not because of that. The reason may not be that case also for some other teams, but we'll get to it. So I just want to hit some of the chat before we get to this. Schmo likes the Raiders. I think it's fair. RGT, Bills and Ravens are sweet. That's totally fair. Spoiler, neither on the list for me today. Titans are definitely a fair oh shit stack. They're not a top stack, but they are a totally reasonable oh shit stack when it's Cam Ward, Chig, Io Manor, DK. I know some people like Tyler Lockett, but I'm not sure if everyone's aware it's 2025. So no thank you on the Tyler Lockett thing. But a lot of them go late. Packers, totally fair. Packers were on the short list. I'll be totally honest with you. Packers were on the short list. They did not make the cut for the Final Four, but they were on the short list. So you guys mentioned some good ones. You guys mentioned some that were very, very close. We got to start. You guys probably guessed it because it's on the thumbnail. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. These are in no particular order. There's 4 stacks. They're all number 1. Okay. But the Cowboys, we got to lead in with the Cowboys. So Dallas Cowboys, the only possible negative thing we could say from a stack perspective about the Cowboys. I'm not talking about negative things we could say about, right? I don't love Brian Schottenheimer either. Okay. Like, I'm a Rams fan. I had, just like most teams have dealt with Brian Schottenheimer. I also don't love Brian Schottenheimer saying he's not going to change. So sure, that's a flaw, but I don't think anybody could screw this thing up. Again, all of this is assuming health, right? If the quarterback gets hurt, every team is screwed. Dak's back. What's really great about this stack is that Dak has just like continually every single year gotten cheaper in price. And I'm not really sure that that's warranted. He's definitely not much of a runner anymore. So that is a fair part of like a Dak Prescott analysis. But I'm not sure that it matters that Dak is running, because now we have George Pickens, right? The problem with the Cowboys, frankly, for the last couple of seasons has been non-CeeDee Lamb offensive weapons, right? When Tony Pollard left, when they did have Tony Pollard, great. Jake Ferguson is a fine player, probably miscast as a number 2, like total number 2 air quotes wide receiver in an offense. Now we got George Pickens. George Pickens also previously probably miscast as the lead number 1 alpha in an offense. The Steelers' problems, which they're going to have again now with DK Metcalf, is these guys like a George Pickens are good football players. Undoubtedly good football player, George Pickens. You can't build the plane, the passing game plane, the airplane, if you will. Pun very much intended, out of George Pickens in the passing game. So what better thing to do than put him next to CeeDee Lamb, bona fide superstar, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. Now George Pickens is there, right? Moves Ferg down a level. moves CeeDee's like full-blown responsibility of being the man on every play, moves that down. It's just the perfect fit. And I think we're forgetting a little bit, not totally forgetting. CeeDee Lamb is a first-round pick. In 2023, there's only been one season in between now and 2023. They scored the most points in the NFL in the regular season. The Dallas Cowboys did. Number one. And sure, are the running backs very fun? No, I don't like clicking Javonte either. I don't like clicking Jaden Blue at pick 130. Absolutely not. Do I like clicking Miles Sanders? No. If you're worried about those running backs, you know what you can do? Stack the pass game. Dak is free. Jake Ferguson is going now. We've gone way too far the other way with Jake Ferguson. He was going way too high last year, but in the 70s or 80s. Now, like 145 on underdog, sometimes falling further, certainly on DraftKings. The price has gotten out of control. The Cowboys are just the market is missing a lot, I think, with the Cowboys. They only have, even amongst all of these other guys, they're one of the only teams. They led, right? They have CeeDee Lamb, superstar. They added George Pickens. Dak is back. They led the entire NFL in scoring in 2023. And yet, they only have two players. The third Cowboy off the board in best ball drafts is Dak Prescott after pick 100. They have two players in the top 100. Two. Now, CeeDee Lamb goes in the first round. George Pickens goes in the fifth round. But it's kind of crazy. I want to take this moment to quickly show you guys on spikeweek.com. If you go check out, we have a bunch of different little like tools and data charts and stuff like that. We have what we call the stacking matrix. So if you want to see this is what I use to, judge the price and / stackability part of it. So you can go in, let's just go to Dallas really quickly. I obviously need to update this. Shout out to me for not having this prepared. Excellent content work. But you can see, right, the quarterback, what round is he going? Okay, 9. Javonte, okay, goes in round 9. Jaden Blue, this also has risen from there. So I'm literally going to update this after the show. But look at this. Move these guys, get rid of Jonathan fucking Mingo and move these guys down one notch, right? You put George Pickens in here at round 5. We don't like round 9, round 13, round 18, round 1, round 5, round 14 later now, round 18, round 10 / round 12. The entire offense is so cheap for the Dallas Cowboys, despite all of this upside and everything that we're talking about. So this is posted. If you go to tools here, you'll see the stack matrix. So check that out. It's actually really, 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 really handy. Team we won't get to, but just off the top, right? You can see, okay, how do I need to put together a Cardinal stack? It's like, oh shoot, Marv goes in the third and McBride goes in the second. Do I really want to do Michael Wilson? Do I really want to do, do I want to do a Kyler, Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch stack? Probably not. So it's helpful to see those kind of things, be able to map it out a little bit. Let's move to stack number 2. San Francisco 49ers. We've gone so far the other way. This is another one of the 2024 / 2025 didn't go great for the 49ers. And now, and then of course they lost Deebo Samuel. And so we said, we got to plummet these prices, baby. George Kittle moved up, but everybody else in terms of the hierarchy of the 49ers offense has moved down. Purdy has continued to ascend as a real life NFL quarterback to the point where he just got paid a whole shitload of money. He's going to make $50 million a year. But while he's risen up and while he's gotten paid because he's risen up, what happens, right? When you pay Brock Purdy, when you pay Brandon Ayuk, when you pay George Kittle, when Christian McCaffrey is a running back making $15 million a year, what happens? When your first round pick, Ricky Pearsall, is a wide receiver, when you extend Juwan Jennings, right? When you do all this stuff, what happens? Well, somewhere you have to let players go, and that is happening on the San Francisco defense. Why does the defense matter for our top stacks, the defensive, we don't draft the defensive players. Well, the 49ers defense has been elite for quite a while. And so if they start to become less elite, now we're getting into more shootouts. We're throwing the ball more. We're putting more on Brock Purdy's shoulders, which I'm not admittedly sold Brock Purdy could do this on any NFL offense, but on the Kyle Shanahan offense with all these weapons, I'm very much in. Purdy is completely, like, in my opinion, mispriced, as are a lot of quarterbacks, but Purdy is so readily available to us. Yes, Christian McCaffrey goes, I believe ADP around pick 14, but like pick 14, Christian McCaffrey, even I can't, as a zero running back bro, I can't scoff at that. And he elevates the offense, right? Okay, he might steal some touches. Well, Debo's gone. Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL. The Brandon Ayuk thing seems, that's not great for the overall offense. He'll be back. And Jawan Jennings took a big step last year. I mean, a big step. It was a fucking hop, skip, and a leap into the stratosphere last year for Jawan Jennings, from a totally bit role player into just double checking it right now, 14th in the entire NFL amongst wide receivers in yards per route run. Jawan Jennings. Here's just quickly some players who he had a better yards per route run than: Zay Flowers, Malik Neighbors, Chris Olave, George Pickens, T. Higgins, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Jameson Williams, Terry McLaurin, Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs, Calvin Ridley, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Tyreek Hill, Brandon Ayuk, teammate for the 49ers. Jawan Jennings was elite last year, 14th amongst wide receivers in yards per route run. Ricky Pearsall, right? Debo's gone. Oh, no, Debo's gone. Ricky Pearsall, first-round wide receiver, came on strong down the stretch. George Kittle is what George Kittle is, an annually undervalued best ball asset, right? Freely available at the 4 or 5 turn. You can pull him up if you want. You can get George Kittle whenever you want. He's in a pocket of the draft that's a little bit softer, right? That once we get into George Kittle range in ADP, we're getting into like Cortland Sutton and Zay Flowers and Calvin Ridley and DK Metcalf. And it's not that those guys are all bad. It's just that I can get George Kittle with no Deebo Samuel and maybe no Ayuk for a while. And we'll see what's up with Christian McCaffrey, right? The running backs, if you would like Isaac Guerrero, he's free. Ricky Pearsall is in the 70s. Jawan Jennings is in the 60s/70s. Brandon Ayuk is falling to where I don't really love him right now, but later in the summer, if we're getting past pick 100 or something, Brandon Ayuk, because he's going to miss some time. That seems great. Little Birdie told me San Francisco Dallas stacks are the nuts from Updog. It's so funny because I see you guys. I see you guys in the chat. Oh, Sean does ask a good question. Have you drafted any Cowing, or is there someone else that could emerge if a bunch of those guys bust? I have not drafted any Cowing. My concern for Jacob Cowing is he's like slot only. He's a small slot receiver. He was productive in college. I did not hate him, but they signed Demarcus Robinson, and I know that feels like scoff Demarcus Robinson. That's also what we said. That's probably what I said about Jawan Jennings before. Now, I'm not saying Demarcus Robinson is going to be Jawan Jennings by any stretch of the imagination, but I think if something were to happen, right, to Brandon Ayuk or something like that, D-Rob is going to get the first crack at like an every down role at wide receiver, which is disgusting, but it's going to prohibit Jacob Cowing, to your point about getting, a real role to where we can be excited about him. Nothing is impossible. I don't love it. Big draft energy. Loving his highest owned stack is Trevor Lawrence and BTJ, and some good foreshadowing. Stack number 3, Jacksonville Jaguars. I understand we're worried about Trevor Lawrence. And Brian Thomas Jr. is expensive. He's a early second round pick, right? 1-2 turn pick for BTJ, and Travis Hunter goes in the 4th. Every single other player on the Jaguars offense, from Bashal Tutin to Trevor Lawrence to Travis Etienne to Tank Bigsby to De'Ami Brown, the locked in at worst wide receiver 3 on this offense, Brenton Strange going around pick 160. in drafts. Evan Ingram is gone. Christian Kirk is gone. I know they drafted Travis Hunter, but Liam Cohen just resurrected Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense that it feels just like we're doing this thing again. We don't trust Lawrence. Sure. BTJ is great, right? We love BTJ just like we loved Mike Evans. We like Travis Hunter just like we liked Chris Godwin. But we didn't really wrap our heads around like what Liam Cohen can do with the talented offense. And I do believe this is the talented offense, regardless of what Trevor Lawrence has done. Brian Thomas Jr., mentioning our Jawan Jennings kind of conversation. Brian Thomas Jr., 6th in the NFL last year in yards per route run. Here's the only 5 wide receivers who are more efficient on a per route basis than Brian Thomas Jr., despite playing with Trevor Lawrence and with Mac Jones, right? Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, A.J. Brown, Ladd McConkey, and the aforementioned Mike Evans. That's it. Not Justin Jefferson, not Jamar Chase, not CeeDee Lamb, not Drake London, not Amon-Ra St. Brown. None of them were more efficient than Brian Thomas Jr. on this offense. Even if Travis Hunter takes some away, Brian Thomas Jr. is an ascending superstar wide receiver. I have truly zero concerns about him in a Liam Cohen offense. I talked yesterday on the show about draft these guys before the prices get crazy. De'Ami Brown is like at the top of that list amongst wide receivers. Gabe Davis is gone. De'Ami's getting all the coach speak. And the running backs are also near the top of that list. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to tell you who it's going to be. Tootin, ETN, or Tank Bigsby, but I know that the prices are wrong. Brenton Strange, you want a cheap tight end to stack on you can load up your entire team with all the Jaguars. And the crazy thing is if you did that with last year's Liam Cohen led offense, Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, the wide receiver 2 in all of fantasy before he got hurt, Jalen McMillan, Bucky Irving, even Rachaad White, the price was probably bad, but like there were worse picks, right? Kate Otten turned out to be a good pick. If you just drafted the Liam Cohen offense last year, it was a printing press. It was a total printing press. That's funny. All right, one more, and then we're going to hop into a draft. Because this one, you're not going to like it. I'm just going to be totally honest with you. The Carolina Panthers. Hear me out. Totally free. If you want to stack the Carolina Panthers in any single draft you do this entire summer, you can do it. The most expensive player goes in the 4th round, who was a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. I'm a huge Tet McMillan, aka T-Mac, fan. I'm getting a rookie top 10 wide receiver pick now in the 4th round of drafts. That's just like almost always a good pick. Then they have a lead back. I'm not going to call him a workhorse because I don't think that's what he is or what he projects to be this year. But a lead back who has done nothing but ball out for 2 straight seasons in Chuba Hubbard in the 5th round. Sometimes, depending upon the site you're drafting on, might fall a little bit. 5th round, in the 60s, Chuba Hubbard. After that, for the Panthers, do you want anybody? You can have them. And now you might say, I don't want anybody. But guess what? Adam Thielen sure just keeps doing it. Xavier Legette was a 1st-round pick. Rico Dowdle was quite good for the Dallas Cowboys last year. And he's going to step in as this, 1B back / backup contingent value bet. He's totally free. Rico Dowdle is. Jalen Coker flashed last season. If you're a Jalen Coker fan, Jatavian Sanders started to flash before he got injured down the stretch. Go check the Jatavian Sanders logs there as he started to take over the full-time role down the stretch before his injury. He started to pop a little bit, and the key being, I have not ever been a Bryce Young fan. Frankly, I'm still not. But the thing about it is Bryce really started to show not just competent, but quality NFL quarterback play when he got benched. Andy Dalton comes in, and spoiler alert, Andy Dalton is just as bad as ever. He had the one really good game to start, I believe. Deontay Johnson leaves, right? Whole circus. Bryce comes back in because the Panthers are terrible. And from that point forward, He was a Xavier Legette drop away from leading a game-winning drive to beat the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. He played great. He was running, which is really nice for fantasy. And the market has mostly just said, we don't give a shit that Bryce got better down the stretch. If the market had said, man, did you see how good Bryce was playing after he came back and priced him way up, they would not make this list. But he is freely available as one of the last, for sure, starting quarterbacks in the entire NFL. And we can stack this offense up whenever we want. The nice little feather in their cap. Not sure if you've seen their defense. Not sure if you saw their defense last year, but it ain't any better. The defense is atrocious, meaning similar to the 49ers defense getting worse. I think the Cowboys defense has gotten worse. The Jags defense is not awesome. All of these stacks, particularly the Panthers, they're going to have to throw. They're going to have to try to score points because they're not going to be able to run out there and try to do this Steelers bullshit of hold everybody under 17 points and pray to God you can score 18. Like, that's just not going to happen with a defense like this. So what does that mean? It means a lot more passing attempts. It means a lot more aggression on offense, and that means a lot more fantasy points. And so am I saying the Panthers are going to be absolutely amazing? No, but Dave Canales was a guy we were very excited about anywhere he landed as a coach. And now with the Panthers, we just written it off, despite the fact that they showed us something down the stretch of last season and then added a top 10 pick at wide receiver in Tet McMillan. So there's your four: Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, Jacksonville Jaguars, Carolina Panthers. Jimmy, is Jatavian Sanders a sneaky late tight end? I think so. Second-year player, right? Started to take most of the routes down the stretch, but then he just got dinged up. I don't think Tommy Tremble is stopping anybody, especially a team that's like in rebuild. They need to see what they have in Jatavian Sanders. So with that being said, let's see if we can't put some of these to the test, eh? We're going to go on over to DraftKings.com and hop in this $20 Best Ball Millie Maker. And there are 5 spots available. Yeah, so Mint Eastwood says, Bryce got better. Last 4. Big L to the Cowboys. Win versus tragic Cardinals. Massive loss to Bucks, and OT win versus barely 2-4. I mean, yeah, they were the worst team in the NFL and went 2-4. You also conveniently left out the Eagles game in which he played great. And you're also only citing wins and losses. Those are team stats, not like go look at the underlying metrics of how Bryce Young played. He was better. If you don't trust me, which is totally understandable, go listen to the true straight NFL ball knowers that will tell you, the Josh Norrises of the world, the Greg Rosenthal's, the Mina Kimes, go listen to all those straight ball knowers. They'll tell you, I promise, that Bryce was better last year down the stretch. And he was, even if Bryce wasn't better, go look at the fantasy points. Seriously, go look at the fantasy points from Bryce Young and see, oh my God, did you ever think Bryce Young was going to have a damn near 40-point fantasy game? I sure didn't. So that seems pretty good. Even if I just ignored, yeah, he still stinks, but guess what? He was scoring some fucking fantasy points, right? That seems good. I'm cool with that. Bryce showed more than Trevor Lawrence did. And I mean, I love the Jags, but Bryce showed more than Trevor Lawrence did last year and their entire careers. I'm excited to see. I hate this, how long it takes. Like 2 minutes. This is why we love our good friends over at Fast Draft. Our good friends over at Drafters. I can click the button that says, "Are you ready?" Degeneration X style. Are you ready? Takes forever. This 2 minute. We don't need 2 minutes. At DK support. At DK assist. We don't need 2 minutes, guys. Let's see what Reagan Cherry does, because I can tell you what I'm going to do. it would be disingenuous to not. Oh man, I'm not logged into the draft hacker. Hold on, I'm taking CeeDee Lamb. An Are You Ready button would be a great idea, especially if it played the DX music. Are you ready? I know. There's always one that hits. That doesn't hit the button. It's ridiculous. People are just the worst. We're just trying to draft the best ball team, guys. I know you're ready. Click the button. There should be an option to automatically click it, so I don't have to go in and click the button. That would be nice. But we started CeeDee Lamb at the 103. I am a shout out before I mention my obvious Cowboys stack, as you would expect for someone who said the Cowboys were one of the 4 top stacks on the board. Charisma says also sick Avi. I don't have those exact shoes, but I have several of those. I watch every Carolina game. Go watch the Bryce third down cut up over the last few weeks. Elite. That's hilarious. Holy smokes. Wide receiver 1, Jacoby Myers is a bold choice. This is definitely true. It makes you feel better when Nolan says drafters added that. Like, it's now the Are You Ready button. The DX button. Added it as an illusion of control. And I agree. I feel powerful when I click it. I don't think I've ever had a time. I've drafted thousands of teams on drafters.com. I don't think I've ever had a draft where I clicked that button and everyone else in the draft clicked it. But I feel better doing it. It's like a genius psychological deal. Favorite hidden gem? What do you mean by hidden gem? Like a player to draft? That's a good question. I haven't thought about it. Little Amon Ra Nico at the 1-2 turn is nice for Super John. Bowers JT is interesting. CMC Derrick Henry. I'm liking this room, ladies and gents. Yep. Chuba's hurt. Gad. I had so many Chuba James Conner teams like David and Njoku. Ugh. Nobody decided to play down the stretch. That was stinky. Last round player or someone who is ranked way too low. I'll cheat and say Diami. I don't know what his price is on DraftKings. I don't think it's actually last round. I will do. Let's use one from one of our teams, because if we're doing top stacks today, the 49ers wide receiver, who I think the market has decided is nothing, and Isaac Garendo has probably not really earned this level of respect behind Christian McCaffrey. It's not like Isaac Garendo is a picture of health either. Jordan James, I think, isn't. He's definitely not the reason. I didn't mention him in the breakdown about the 49ers. He's not the reason we're drafting the 49ers, but he's a nice little cherry on top, I think. Let's see. Josh Allen. So we took CD. I'm not taking Josh Allen. As you can see, I have a whole boatload of Trey McBride. There's nobody really here on my top stacks list, if you will. So let's go ahead and do Trey McBride, because that tight end flexibility is nice. Thank you, South. 225 for Tiami. So pretty close. Yeah, it just never happens. Yep. Uncle Valus. Playing running back, by the way, Panthers. I'm not taking him. Charles asks, any Deontay Johnson on DraftKings. I am not taking Deontay Johnson, but I don't think it's the craziest thing ever. I did add him into the ranks. I don't remember where I have him exactly. You have to forgive me. I don't remember all two. We ranked 250 players. I don't remember exactly where that is for him, but if you really like him, I don't think it's like totally crazy. All right, so as much as I love T. Higgins, he's a pretty common pairing there, and I get it. He plays Trey McBride in Week 17. I have 22% Rashee Rice, but as you can see, so I have 17% here. This is with CD, and I don't have him with Trey McBride yet at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and get Rashee Rice because I really would like Rashee Rice with this combo. I'm probably going to have a bunch of CD and Trey McBride. And so getting Rashee Rice to fit in around there when he's also a priority to me, I don't want to just keep tapping T. Higgins. I agree. Imagine reaching on Rashee Rice. Is anyone in the space going to mention Trevor Etienne, pass catching back round 4 compliments Chuba? I hate him too, but man, he could have a role. Yeah. I actually have drafted him one time. And it was not what I was hoping to do. It was round 20, I think, on drafters. My problem, and I'm fully admitting that this is just a me problem, is that Trevor Etienne is fucking terrible. He stinks. I know they drafted him in the 4th round, but they drafted him in the 4th round, and he's behind 2 backs that I like. I think Chuba is good. I actually kind of think Rico Dowdle is good. Like, these guys aren't Saquon, but I think they're solid NFL backs, and like they both can play on passing downs. They're not like great receivers or anything, but they can both play on passing downs. They did last season, and so I'm definitely kind of sticking my head in the sand and just saying, if Trevor Etienne beats me, he beats me. But I fully admit that he's a 4th round pick, and it's possible that I'm ignoring the fact that the team said he's a priority. But we got to draw a line somewhere, and Trevor Etienne is where I'm drawing it. John says the issue with Jordan James is Shanny is he's a 5th round pick, and Shanny doesn't really utilize rookies unless absolutely necessary. Like, sort of. Remember Eli Mitchell? They drafted Trey Sermon in the 2nd round, and we took Trey Sermon in like the 7th round of drafts, and then Eli Mitchell was like the league winner de jour as a rookie. They used Garendo last year as a rookie. I'm not expecting necessarily Jordan James to like take over the backfield. Certainly not with Christian McCaffrey there, but as a contingent bet, as a Garendo is not really our style of runner, which I'm not sold that he is. I think he showed he's all right, but I just think like 49ers, like if you just drafted the 49ers air quotes RB3 for years, like you're in good shape. Just draft that guy. You don't have we don't have to like split hairs about it. Chaos happens, right? Like Christian McCaffrey and Isaac Garendo could get hurt. And I know, we don't want to be like rooting for that, but in round 20, there's a lot of guys being drafted who, even if multiple injuries happen, they're not going to like be fantasy smashes. James could just beat out Garendo, or he could get lucky and get 2 injuries or like 1.5 injuries to where he gets an elevated role. I also kind of think he's good. Just like straight up think he's good. All right, I love the Eagles, but I just can't. I can't do another Eagle stack. T-Mac is gone, right? Yeah, T-Mac went, so I don't know if the Panthers thing is going to happen, but I might. Let's do Chuba. Let's not be disingenuous. If you say the Panthers are one of the top stacks, draft a fucking Panther. We got a Cowboy. We got a Panther. Jags are both gone. The good ones. So we'll see what happens with the Jaguars later, but the rest of the guys are free on the Jags and 49ers incoming. Kittle, of course, gone already. I would have really liked George Kittle, but he went here to Matthew. Okay. Let's go ahead. Dallas Cowboys, stack numero uno in the video. Let's go ahead and bring George Pickens on down. Jonathan says, I like having 7-day ADP change, spike week, and nuke percentage as well with the hacker. Yeah. Let me share. Obviously, this is the stack matrix, but if you're a subscriber, just a mini quick tutorial. Jonathan couldn't draft without it. If you go to the site and you go to the draft hacker settings, this is where you can set all your You can set all your colors. You can set what the minimum value for high ownership, ADP risers, whatever. There's look at all these settings. You can pick from 10 million different things from within the draft hacker. You can see the different stuff that I have selected, but just what I have selected doesn't mean it's the best for you. We built it so that everybody can kind of customize it exactly how they want. Jonathan has certain teams or certain data points that he wants to see. I have different data points that I want to see, and you can. There's 1,000 options to pick from with a draft hacker to see while you're drafting. You're welcome. Team 5. Gibbs, H-E-N-T, Kittle, J-Mo. Yeah, it's fine. If you love running backs and hate wide receivers, that team rocks. I don't love my wide receiver ones on my fantasy team not being wide receiver ones on their own offense. A little bit of exaggeration, but T. Higgins ain't Jamar Chase, and Jameson Williams ain't Amon-Ra St. Brown, and so we'll see. Can definitely make it a good team. On DraftKings especially, you can make awesome teams with just about any build. That was team 6. Oh shit. Sorry. Thank you. Jefferson, AJB, Bucky. Ooh, that's a nice little fall on Bucky. Hunter Hurts. Oh yeah, that's a great team. That's a great team. Oh, that's Chris. Fucking Chris joins the draft and is building a killer team, of course. I do very, very much like the Eagles. If you listen to some of the other content, like I did a show with Davis Maddock. It's on the channel. If you're here, you're probably already familiar, but in case you're not, go look at best picks in each round, I believe is the title, where Davis and I both selected a player in all 18 rounds for underdog specific, but it applies to any of these sites. And basically all the Eagles pass catchers. I think I don't remember if Goddard was on there. It might have been, but AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Will Shipley, I believe, were on there. All right, back on the clock. Look at this. It's goddamn beautiful when a plan comes into action. I do already have a lot of Juwan, as you see here, with these guys, but this is what's the point? What's the point of this entire fucking stream if I'm not drafting the guys from the teams that I just talked about? It's kind of nice because it makes it a lot easier on me. So much easier, quite frankly. I know I'm becoming old. I get these old ass songs stuck in my head all the time. You guys remember song Tatted Up from I don't know, probably the early 2000s? It's a D4L, I think was the name. Came on today while I was at the gym. I'm taking Ricky Pearsall because this is what we do. We take the players from the teams we just said you're supposed to stack. CeeDee Lamb, Chuba Hubbard, George Pickens, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall. Slam dunk, sprint to the podium. Yeah, that fucking song is stuck in my head. It's not even a good song, and I just can't believe it's like ruining my day. It's a great day, and it's ruining my fucking day. Jonathan says, y'all should have an option to just select certain Spike Week guy settings, like Eric's, Hackers, Rob's. That we can look into. Like the old Fantasy Labs models. Choose Levitan's model or CSU Rams model or whoever the fuck's model. GM Bindles, welcome. Thank you for joining. Charisma, where would you draft Diggs if he didn't tear his ACL? Higher than he's fucking going right now. That is for damn sure. The Patriots were I didn't do it this way, but the Patriots were very close to making the list today. Very close. It's certainly possible I should have done 5 teams, and they were one of them. And Diggs is a reason for that because he's going in the 7th round, sometimes falls further, and it's pretty clear and obvious to everyone when he's healthy or assuming he gets healthy, however we want to phrase that, he's the alpha wide receiver. Like, if Stephon Diggs did not tear his ACL, why would DK Metcalf go ahead of him? Why would Calvin Ridley go ahead of him? They're not better players. They're not attached to better offenses. He's a 5th round pick. Something like that. That would be my rough guess. I do like these drafts are the best. Just come in and say, stack these offenses. And so every time you're on the board, you get to draft that team. Although I was told donating money if I like the Carolina Panthers. Doesn't matter that they're free. Donation. I am just hoping that the room plays nice with the quarterback stuff because what I would really, really like is Dak and Brock Purdy on this team. That's what I'm saying. Look at this. Look at this Purdy price. 106. That's crazy. Ben says this small field $33 buy-in turning on DK is a jam. Love the format. 6-man. Yeah, man. Geez, 6-man final. What a fun sweat, right? Like make it to a final, and there's only 6 players. Amazing. I made the DraftKings 5-5-5 final last year. I drafted 20 teams into the 5-5-5 on DraftKings last year. I made the final. It's only 30 people. I did get second to last. I think I mentioned I had James Conner, Chuba, and Joku. Like, just everybody sat out that week, unfortunately. But man, $1 million to first with only 30 teams was like, that was the best. All right, I'm pulling up Dak. Theoretically, neither of these guys should take Purdy, and I'm going to take because neither of Dak or Purdy are probably going to fall back to me. Like, it's 118. It's like possible, but I just don't. There's no real reason here for me to push it, right? Like, oh, you want Isaiah Pacheco? Isaiah Pacheco is the reason to not get your stacks, especially on DraftKings. We talked about like how crazy DraftKings can be from a quarterback perspective. So I'm taking Purdy, I'm taking Dak. I'm done with 2 quarterbacks, and I got 2 of our top 4 stacks, and I also have a Panther, and we'll see on the Jags. We're gonna have to have a little more fun to get to the Jags. Rusty asks, has there ever been an NFL wide receiver 30 or older tear their ACL and then have more than 150? I mean, I am unsure. I think you can Search some older than 30, 150 fantasy points season. What I will say is this is not cumulative scoring. I truly don't care about total fantasy points. I care about your impact in your games when you're playing. Are you providing spike weeks? Like if you score 150 fantasy points over 17 games, if it's 0-20, 0-20, right? Like that's great. That's fucking awesome. You don't even have to score 150 fantasy points, right? Play 14 games, score 0-20, 0-20. That's an incredibly impactful best ball player in the 7th or 8th round. Are you scoring 9 points a week? Like every week you score 9 points, who cares? They're like not changing your lineup ever. I'm not saying that that's what you're saying. I'm just saying on drafters, if you want to say, right, or in the marathon, if you want to say, I don't want to draft this guy with this, I think that that's not only fair, it's maybe good. But all I care is that Stephon Diggs gets healthy at some point and then scores fantasy points, hopefully at a high level, because he's the alpha lead wide receiver for a Drake May offense, in which I'm pretty bullish. That's hilarious. D. Lutomsky says, last year, the team that made the BBM final for me had a Seahawks stack, and they scored 3 points in week 17. Dude, the week 17 stuff is rough. Really, really rough. The year, I forget who it was, won BBM. I got 2 years ago, I got 12th. So last year, I didn't make the BBM final. I made a couple small finals on Underdog, and then the 555 and the Millie final on DraftKings. And so it was a good year, but like not anything special, obviously, when you don't do well in week 17. But a couple of years ago, I finished 12th in BBM, and then Pete Overzet and I, a few years back before that, finished 8th in BBM with the team we drafted on stream, hilariously. Shout out Sony Michelle. But the week 17 variance is just crazy. Even on your good teams, it's crazy. Like I was a DK Metcalf drop and a George Pickens ankle tackle away from like maybe winning the whole goddamn thing. And it's just how it goes, right? It's both the frustrating part and the best part of this game. There's just like nothing that matches the spending all this time dedicating all these hours and these resources to building these teams, and then reaching the playoffs and having shit to root for, like in every single one of these games, having something in week 17 that's just like the ultimate sweat. It's the best. All right, back on the clock. I'm not fucking doing it with Jaden Blue. I'm telling you right now. Actually, don't. How many? Okay, I have 2-1-5-1. Okay. 2-1-5-1. Let's add to the Jags stack with Tootin. Should have maybe done Sharps. He does play against Chuba, as you can see here, lighting up in orange. I use the orange for the non-quarterback correlations. If we scroll, you can see some right blue. Roshan plays against a Purdy stack, so that shows up blue. And then I use the orange for this guy correlates with a non. Damn it, there goes Sharps. Oh, and Jogu too. Shit, man. I think I got to do Marvin Mims here because, again, I do only have 6%. I actually kind of like Marvin Mims. Plays against Rushy Rice, plays against Tootin here. So let's go ahead and do Marvin Mims. Yeah, you got to. Nolan says you got a sun run to get there, but still painful when it happens to you. It's right. The best ball gods giveth, and the best ball gods taketh away. And what can we do? Like I said, it is truly the reason why it's the most fun and the reason why it's the most frustrating game. It's the best. I mean, it's the best sweat. It's just truly the best sweat. Another great reason to identify some stacks for today's show. Know what offenses you're targeting. Charles loves a Christian Kirk Stroud mid-round stack. I got 0 issues with that. Definitely, like everyone else is, concerned about Christian Kirk like long term in terms of does Jalen Noel. I hate that it's Noel. I hate talking about I straight up hate talking about the player, even though he's kind of good. Because his last name is Noel. And they say Jalen Noel. And it fucking makes me so mad. Nole is Noel. Noel is Noel. So I hate talking about it. So maybe I'm going to bump Christian Kirk up in the rankings because of that. Because it's absolutely miserable. But I am, long-term concerned about does Christian Kirk hold the job? But he's certainly going to be, locked into that slot role, at least to start the season. One would expect, unless Noel is just a stud. See, I could have potentially waited on Lawrence, but I don't have BTJ or Hunter, so I think I'm okay with secondary stacking the Jaguars. Some Tootin. We'll get to Diami. Yeah, the James Conner, Chuba running. These were like all my finals teams. They were the best. It was the best. It was amazing. That running back room was so fun until it wasn't. Damn, Lawrence comes all the way back. Oh, shit. I don't have a tight end too, right? No. All right. Let's build out the Cowboys super stack. Jake Ferguson. As you can see, I draft a ton of Jake Ferguson. Just shitting on Garendo, but he does kind of make some sense. Let's add some Q. Bryce also there. See? Slappy would have taken Pitts first. Fair. Not for me. I mean, I don't even see Dalton Kincaid in the player pool. People love to hate on Kyle Pitts, but when is Dalton Kincaid going to get the same level of hatred for being terrible at fucking football? Pitts is post Slappy for sure. Even the Slappies are done with Kyle Pitts, which probably means that now is when we should buy. There goes Kyle Pitts. I'm gonna do Grand. I don't really want to do Tank and Tootin, but it's not the craziest thing I've ever done. You know what? Let's do a little something fun. I haven't, as you can see, I haven't drafted Tank Bigsby yet. And I know you got Tank and Tootin, but I'm really not totally against running back on the same team. If the Jaguars keep all three, certainly possible that this doesn't work out great. But if it is Tank and Tootin, I'm down to like consume the Jaguars backfield with pick 118 plus pick 147. They can ping pong weeks, right? I can get all the points. I don't know how it's going to shake out, but I'm open to this. I need a bunch of running backs. And so I'm open to kind of consuming that backfield a little bit here as I really start to take a bunch of shots on running back now. Done at quarterback, done at tight end. It's going to be a bunch of running backs and probably 2 wide receivers. The old 2882 team, when Chuba Hubbard is your RB1 and Bashal Tootin is your RB2 and Tank Bigsby is your RB3. I think that's when we have to draft a bunch of running backs. I like this team. I like that it worked out to where I could get all of my stacks that I wanted. I'm not letting you guys take Diami from me. I don't care what you say. But we got the Cowboys thing. Mega stack, like mega Cowboy stack. Dak, CD, Pickens, and Ferg, Purdy, Juwan, and Pearsall. Passed on Garendo. He did go at 153 there. But I have Jordan James. If I want to add on to that stack there in my back pocket, I got more Jags I can draft. And of course, we'll see about the Panthers. I'm not so in love with adding these guys to this particular team, but Xavier Legette, I am pretty sure Thielen's gone. Yeah, Thielen gone. I'm sorry. I'm putting some guys in the queue. I know this is like you're not allowed to do this when you're streaming drafts, right? I gotta hide it. I gotta hide this from you guys. I can't show you who I'm targeting, even though I just made a fucking video saying here's the teams I'm trying to stack. I think you guys know who I'm interested in targeting, but nonetheless. Oop. Dowdle gone? Must have just went, right? Yeah. 13-12. Rico Dowdle. There's Algier gone, Ray Davis gone. Do I do Legette? I might. Eckler interestingly fits this team. We're gonna do Austin. Man, first Austin Eckler and first Tank Bigsby share. But as you see, Austin Eckler, I kind of think this works. I could use a little early season, just like ho-hum Austin Eckler scoring some fantasy points. And, God forbid he's still around later I don't mean like he died. I mean like he's still around playing meaningful snaps for the Washington football team, the Commanders, as a pass down back, as a bring back to the Dallas stack. I think it actually makes a ton of sense. The only stack that matters, Rock Hardcastle. Is that a porn name? That's not your real name, but it's got to be a porn name or like OnlyFans name or something like that. That's not a real. It's not even a nickname. There's no chance. Legette went. Okay. I think it's probably Braylon. Yeah, I think it's probably Braylon. Let's do Braylon Allen. Rock Hardcastle. What an elite name. Sorry, I lost track of what the entire point. Not even a stack. What's not even a stack? What did I miss? The only stack that matters. Oh, got it. Amarian Hampton, okay, a Charger, Jerry Jeudy, a Brown, Njoku, a Brown, Tillman, a Brown, Pickett. But Amarian Hampton plays the Texans in week 17. Oh, Judkins. Okay. Judkins. I got you. So that's it's interestingly enough, I am not into the Quinshon Judkins thing, but you want to talk about an offense that is totally free and available and cheap, the Browns. If I'm not in love with Kenny Pickett, I think the offense is going to need one of Shador or Dylan Gabriel to be good if you really want to unlock it, or this bullshit Joe Flacco thing keeps going. I think those are your best options. I think Kenny Pickett is the worst case scenario for the stack upside. Doesn't mean that Kenny Pickett is going to be the worst NFL quarterback of the bunch, but I think what you really want if you're into the Brown stack is like Shador is good, Dylan Gabriel is good, or Joe Flacco's out there slinging that fucking thing. Yeah, I mean, this has just truly never been the case. if Kenny Pickett is the golden ticket, then my man, I will salute you. You can come back right here and in whatever January of next year, and I will give you all your flowers. Kenny Pickett wasn't the golden ticket with a much better supporting cast. So yeah, cheers. I love it. Dude, I love some conviction, especially on like a cheap offense. The cool thing about the Browns is everyone thinks they're going to suck. Everyone. And they probably will. But guess what? What if they don't suck that bad? Then you are the only team like overstacking them. I'm open to it. Yeah, could be. Definitely could be. Okay, back on the clock. Pick 190. Did you guys already? Yeah, you guys took Shipley already. Of course you took Shipley. All right, I'm just going to take Diami. I'm just going to take Diami because you guys are the worst and already took Will Shipley from me. Who took Will Shipley? Who's in the 112? Super John, are you here? You're taking a lot of the guys I like. You also started 0 running back. You did take Alvin Kamara, which is not very much off-brand for me, but you took a... Oh, God damn it, John. God damn it. I respect it. Will Shipley, best pick on the board. It's not what today's show is for. Today's show is for some more fun, correlating and stacking and all the silliness. But Will Shipley, just a friendly reminder, is the best pick on the board. No, Devin Neal does correlate a little bit, and I have not drafted him yet. But dude, I'm sorry. I'm taking Woody Marks. I know everybody has their concerns about Woody Marks, but I just can't get over that he's freely available. Cam Scatterboo goes inside the top 100. Jaden Blue goes inside the top 130. Devin Neal, 5th round pick, goes ahead of him. DJ Giddens goes ahead of him. Ollie Gordon, people like. What? Let's look at the board. That's about it. But Dylan Sampson, the RB2, also a 4th round pick for the Browns, goes ahead of him. I don't know how to, until the price adjusts to where, like, we're not treating Woody Marks the same as we're treating all of these other backs. It's like we're doing the royal we, the market is doing the. He's nothing. I don't care that he went in the 4th round. I don't care that they traded a future 3rd to get this guy. She's like a glorified 3rd round pick running back, and no one behind Joe Mixon, who no one likes either. On a Texans offense we're excited about, relatively speaking. Nico goes in the 1st round. Joe Mixon goes in the 4th. People love Jaden Higgins and whatever. But the running back that they prioritized in the 4th round is free when these other guys are on shit offenses are not free. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I was not a big fan of Woody Marks either, but like the price doesn't make we can separate, right? It's like I wasn't a big fan of Ricky Pearsall, but then eventually he's going in the 2nd to last round. It's like, fuck, man, I don't know. He's a 1st round pick. What am I going to do? He's probably good. Woody Marks, same thing. Like I didn't really love him, but also especially on DraftKings, like I don't know. He's a good pass catcher. He consolidated the backfield at USC. People view him only as a pass catcher, I think, because he went to Mississippi State and played in that bullshit ass air raid that like only threw the ball to running back. So he caught a bunch of passes and didn't carry the ball a bunch. But guess what? They threw the ball 60 times a game and ran the ball 10 times. So of course he didn't run the ball. He went to USC and he consolidated the whole backfield. He's smaller. So sure, I get it. But this is the PPR site. I'm with you. And this is Eddie says, Jeff, like you're right. If Mixon goes down, there'll be touches to go around. The thing is, you couldn't be more right. He doesn't have to be like this premise of, oh, Mixon goes down, he's not gonna take all of the work. Like, no fucking shit. No running backs take all the work, like, ever. Christian McCaffrey got hurt last year. Jordan Mason didn't take all the work. People mixed in, right? Like, every team plays multiple backs. It's just, can he get enough to add to the potential pass catching, right? The potentially good offense. Can he add enough to where he's a valuable fantasy asset in the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th rounds? Yeah, absolutely. Joe Mixon has injury history, and Rock says, and I'm not going to get over that name, and he's old. He's old. Sorry, this is not cooperating here. Absolutely not on Dalton Schultz. Round 18. Oh, look at that. Look who's available. Mr. Jordan James. Is the Dobbins chatter still Houston? I actually am unsure about that. So the latest I know is that the Chargers put the tag on Dobbins. I would be shocked if he's not a Los Angeles Charger. So I'm not drafting Jimmy Horn Jr. Let's see. No, okay. We can wait on wide receiver 8. There's ETN. Oh, dude. Slam dunk, run to the podium. You know what the answer is. Miles Sanders. We're stacking up the Cowboys. Holy hell, this team is wild. 2-8-7-2. We'll probably take a wide receiver in round 20. But CeeDee Lamb, Trey McBride, Rashee Rice, Chuba Hubbard, George Pickens, Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Dak Prescott, and Brock Purdy to round out our Cowboys and Niners stacks. Bashal Tutin, because, we're talking about the Jags as a top stack. We better get some Jags. Marvin Mims, random ass Marvin Mims mixed in here. Marvin Mims does not fit anything about this team other than he plays a bunch of my guys in the fantasy playoffs. And the wide receiver is fine. There. Jake Ferguson, more Cowboys, more Cowbell, but also more Cowboys. Tank Bigsby, Jaguars, Steph, Austin Eckler. What a sneaky good fit Austin Eckler is on this team. Austin Eckler's the glue of this team. He's the glue of probably a lot of teams he's been on before, but Austin Eckler's kind of the glue. Braylon Allen, Jaden Blue seeping into my mind, clearly. Braylon Allen, just a generally good fit on a very needy running back needy team. De'Ami Brown, who I talked about at length yesterday and today. Woody Marks, Jordan James, and Miles Sanders. My God. I have non-zero Miles Sanders, and I do not love it. Sign me up from the Mad Bowler. This is definitely true. No Cap Max says, I feel like it would go against sorry. Missed the draft board here. I feel like it would go against the brand for Rock Hardcastle to not be a fan of somebody named Woody. It's pretty true. It's pretty true. Michael, perfect timing. I'm waiting on a wider. You are in the 7 hole. M. Stockton. I already see 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends, so you're probably going to get Raz for that. However, Puka, Ladd, Marv, Worthy, Waddle, okay, like it. Connor, okay, Mahomes, Jonnu, Pacheco, Herbert, Ramondre. Oh, shit. Sorry. Hold on. We got to double back. I really should have planned this a little bit better. Absolutely not on Cavante. I actually like Noah Brown on this team. Again, another little. We're gonna do Noah Brown. Nothing quite says I'm gonna win $1 million like Austin Eckler and Noah Brown on the opposite side of your absolutely insane Cowboys stack. So added Miles Sanders to the Cowboys stack, added Noah Brown and Austin Eckler to the opposite side. Obviously, already have CeeDee Lamb, already have George Pickens, already have Jake Ferguson with Dak Prescott. Big old Niner stack with Jawan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Jordan James, and of course, Brock Purdy. Took a little bit of our Jags stack that we talked about, De'Ami Brown and 2 running backs, Tank Bigsby and Bashal Tutin, and Carolina. We did what we could. Miles Sanders is a former Carolina Panther. How about that? But we have Chuba Hubbard from that. Chuba, honestly, is much needed on this team. Let's see. Michael, we got to, where did we get to? Pacheco, Herbert, Ramondre Stevenson, Tyjae Spears. See, I like all this. This is when you start to lose me a little bit. I get it. I get the Tua thing with Jalen Waddle. But I feel like we're just lacking a little bit of juice, like Ollie Gordon, Jerome Ford, right? Westbrook Akine. That's the oh shit stack in the stackability department that doesn't feel very good. It feels like we're stacking just because they wear Dolphins jerseys. So that's kind of my concern there. I like everything about what you did, like theoretically with this team. I struggle a little bit with adding Tua and then adding a bunch of Dolphins shit when Tua is your quarterback 3, right? You already have Mahomes, you already have Herbert, you attach Tua and then built out a bunch of Dolphins stuff. Slight exaggeration, but 2 Dolphins things. I would probably leave the Tua thing off and build a little more, and possibly even leave Tyler Conklin off. Though I think Tyler Conklin's probably okay. Sure. That's funny. That's funny. South in the 109. Our friend South. Ashton Genty, Drake London. Oh my God, South. You are such a fucking running back lover now. I did not know that this was you. Brees, Hampton, Ridley, Olave, Kelsey, Hawkinson, Kyler. Okay, unstacked Kyler. Don't love that. Jordan Mason, love that. Drake May, cool. Kyle Williams, all right, cool. Garando, yep. QJ, Jalen Noel, Jalen Noel, Jalen Coker, Yoshi, Slayton, Tucker. I think this is all fine, but I think if you had it to do over again, the Kyler pick, I know after ADP and all that kind of stuff, I think you would prefer it not to be a Kyler team. Is my guess. D-Lou out of the 110, and then we're gonna get out of here. CMC, Derrick Henry. God damn it! Why are you guys asking me for all these robust running back teams? It's a great Thursday. I'm trying not to be negative. I'm trying to be happy and polite. And we're talking our favorite stacks. We're talking guys we really like drafting. And you're asking me about a CMC, Derrick Henry, Joe fucking Mixon team. Come on, D-Lou. Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin. I do love. I mean, you worked hard to recover here. I respect it, Jared. But like, so like you drafted a robust team and then took unstacked Jared Goff. What's he doing? What's Jared Goff doing for the team? Trey Harris, I love. Keon, fine. Tucker Kraft, all right. But then you took Penix, unstacked Penix, right? Unstacked Penix, unstacked Anthony Richardson, which, okay, Anthony Richardson, sure, he's going to run. Mason Taylor, Pat Freiermuth. I feel like this one went off the rails. Yeah, see, you did the Jared Goff Tesla stack. That is I guess I'll take Jared Goff around after ADP and stack him with the rookie wide receiver who's probably never going to play. the fantasy points that Jared Goff is distributing are going to none of the lines that I have. I'm with you guys. I'm obviously trolling a little bit, but I would have gone about it a little bit differently on that specific team. We're gonna keep riding the Pacers vibes. I'm with you guys. Anthony Richardson is a Pacers vibe. That is for sure. We're gonna get out of here. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday. We're gonna go spend some family time here, have a little dinner, and enjoy. Man, what a time! Drafting best ball teams around the clock, NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. It's the absolute best. Be back tomorrow. I don't know yet what time. I mentioned that yesterday. I'm not 100% certain what time we're going to be doing the draft streams on Friday, but they are going to exist. So be on the lookout for that. If you are not subscribed to the channel, hit that on your way out, and also, of course, hit the thumbs up. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. And there'll be a new episode of Legendary Sickos. It's going to be a great weekend. Happy Thursday. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Woo! Those were some spicy takes. Want to stay up to date with all of the other spicy takes we're going to have over here at Spike Week? Why don't you press that subscribe button below? You turn notifications on, we draft a team, boom, you know about it. We have another spicy take, boom, you know about it. You can be there. You can draft with us. You want to stay up to date? That's how you do it. All right, we'll catch you later next time here at Spike Week.